Hi Stampers, I'm Meg from Loven Stamps, and one of the things that I love to do as a card maker is to make cards for people as gifts. So coming up with a fun little needle and thread gift set for Stamps the Mail Club was one of my treats this month, and I have some directions for you to share that show really how to make the most of note cards and envelopes, which are a little bit smaller than these acetate card boxes that are in the catalog. So you might be able to see here, I have this insert here that really shows off the note cards that are included with the Stamps the Mail Club kit, as well as some of the other features from the Needlepoint project suite. So let me give you some directions on this and teach you how to make your own little acetate card boxes for note cards. Let's get stamping. So we'll set our directions aside. There are a lot of little pieces in this little packet, so kind of keep track of them as you go. And I'm going to talk a little bit first about our box. So the note cards and envelopes are a really great thing to have in your stamping supply closet because they are always ready to go, easy to layer and do quick projects with and so forth. So I'm going to set those pieces aside for a moment, but I am going to pull out our acetate box. These boxes come in the Stampin' Up! Annual catalog. They're available, and they are great for lots of things. I actually store my Stampin' Blend marker in them. They're the perfect size to fit a series of markers across there. But they also are really fun when you are wanting to gift cards, and they are the perfect size for a regular half sheet card. So here's our Get Well Soon project from earlier in Stamps Mail Club, and you can see how nicely that fits into the box. So you could even make a set of those and put those inside your gift box and then give this as a gift. But when you have note cards, the note cards are a little bit smaller, so they're sized, here we'll fold one in half, and like that doesn't really, like, it kind of floats around in there, it doesn't present super well. So I wanted to come up with a solution for that, and so I decided that I was going to design an insert to go in here. So let me talk to you about the insert. The Simply Scored board is my very favorite way to score these inserts for the card box. So our cardstock is cut here to 5 3/4 by 7 7/8, and you can find a great graphic for that on my website if you want to pin it and have it on a board. But the Simply Scored tool gives me this chance to put these little markers at the top. So if I'm doing a bunch of these, I can just kind of whip through them and I don't have to look at the numbers every time. I just look for the marker and go ahead and score. So let me tell you the sizes. They are 3/8 of an inch, 7/8 of an inch, 1 1/4 inches, 1 3/4 inches. So that gives us one side of our insert. And the other, you're going to continue by scoring at 6 1/8, 6 5/8, 7 and 7.5 inches. Okay. Once you have that scored, and your piece will come scored for you with Stamps the Mail Club, you're going to go ahead and add your tear and tape. And you really want to use tear tape for this because you want your box to stay stuck. You don't want it to be popping open all the time. So on the final panel of each one of these, I am going to add some tear tape adhesive, okay? All right, make sure you have folded on all your score lines so that your paper goes where you want it to. Okay, we got this one done. And then what you're gonna do is you are going to peel off your backing from the tear tape. If you can't get the backing off, push the adhesive down harder. And then I'm gonna put this right here into the crack. See how I'm doing that? And as I do that, I know that it's straight because my scoring is straight. And then I can just roll this over and attach that at the bottom. So it makes sort of that angle there. And then if you have a pokey tool, or you could use your scoring tool handy, you're just gonna stick something in there, a pen, and really press that adhesive down. And then I'm gonna repeat the same thing for the other side. And I'll try and do it from this direction. So I'm gonna roll this around and then slide that corner right into that score line so that when I roll this shut, then I've got my straight edge there, okay? And again, you want to go ahead and press down on that adhesive from putting something inside so that you got that nice and stuck. All right, and then that, ta-da, is fitting inside our box. All right, so that really makes these acetate card boxes so much more flexible. So you can use them for lots of different things, including these note cards with a perfect presentation. So then let's talk about our belly band for this. I love adding wrappers around boxes like this to really dress them up. And actually, you know what? See how this like edge is here? I don't love that. So I realized I did it backwards. You really want to put it in this direction, and you might have to tease this down the first time to get around the lip of the box at the bottom, but it's worth the effort because then on the front you have no little plasticky edges. There we go, pop that down. Okay, so that's gonna go this direction. See, much cleaner on the front there. All right, so let's back up to our box here. And this is from the Needlepoint Designer Series paper. You can see those sweet little butterflies that are embroidered there. And I am just going to wrap this around here and figure out kind of where that's going to match. And then I really like to use tear tape. I'm gonna put it on the end of this piece, and I'm going to put it on the end of this piece. So that way I make sure that I am, well, I guess it doesn't really matter if you seal your paper to the box or not, but I kind of like my belly bands to move a little bit. So then I'm going to take this and I'm going to kind of watch where it goes so that I can line that up and then press down on both those adhesive spots. Okay, so we have that. And then the next thing to do is to wrap this olive thread around. And I absolutely love the olive thread or the linen thread, but it's super fine. It's not really like distinctive on its own. It doesn't have enough bulk to create really an image. So let me give you a trick for that. And you might have heard me say that my old olive thread, I absolutely adore this. Who knows where it is? It's hiding from me. So I'm using my regular linen thread. But what I'm gonna do is I am going to wrap this around, and whether you're using the old olive or the linen, you want to give yourself a double wrap of it. And then I'm going to take that double wrap and I'm going to go around twice. Okay, so now I have a double wrap, so there's 4 strands, and you could just wrap it around 4 times, but the thing I like about the double wrap is that now I have a doubled thread available to tie my bow on. Okay, and then see, we have plenty of bulk to our thread, and that bow really stands out. If you're just tying a single width bow, it tends to get lost a little bit because the bow isn't real visually strong. Okay, so I'm going to slide that down so it's where I want, and then I'm going to stamp these little pieces, and they are die cut for you ahead of time, so they're here in your kit. And I'm going to grab my Blushing Bride and my Old Olive ink pads, and the stamp for this one I'm going to go ahead and stamp on my flower, and you can stamp on your die cuts upside down, or you can stamp directly on them like this. With photopolymer it makes it pretty easy to see where you're going. And then I'm going to stamp my leaves here, and let's see, I think I'll be able to see a little bit better if I go upside down. So I'm just going to kind of line this up here with my image, and then use another block to just press that down so that I get a nice strong image exactly on there. All right, and then I have my Stampin' Dimensionals, and I'll pop a dimensional on the back, and I love the way these leaves are designed so that you can layer the flower over the top of them, and they just sort of nestle right in there, so just perfect. And then I'm going to go ahead and use another Stampin' Dimensional, but I'm going to show you a trick. So one Stampin' Dimensional would get stuck on those threads, which might not be ideal. So instead what I'm going to do is take an edge piece here, so I have a long strip of Stampin' Dimensional, and I'm going to place this across the back of my pieces here, and go ahead and pull that backing off. So now when I place it across there, it doesn't really matter if I have, it doesn't really, well, I need my belly band to be in the right place because I was pretty generous with my Stampin' Dimensional. Okay, now it doesn't matter if I'm trying to adhere right on the linen thread because I know that I'm going to get a good bond from that strip. And then last thing is this cute little button from the Needlepoint Nook Mini Buttons. I love the coordinating products in this suite. They are available as part of Stamps and Mail Club Kit as add-ons, actually, if you wanted to just get the whole package. So there is our box, and let me give you some tips for doing our note cards. Included in your Stamps and Mail Club kit are a variety of papers and punch pieces and die cuts, and then 3 envelopes and note cards, and then this long white strip. And so what I would recommend doing first is sort of matching up which ones you want to go together. I like the Poppy Parade to match these Poppy Parade flowers here. I like the Berry Burst to match this one, and I like the Petal Pink to match, no, I'm going to switch it. I like Petal Pink to match this one, and Berry Burst to match the navy. And so these pieces are cut to 2.5 by 2.5 by 4 inches. And so then they layer on a mat that is 4.25 by 2.75 inches, which gives you a really nice frame to layer on a note card. So no matter what papers and cardstock and stuff you're using, one of the great things about the Stampin' Up products is that they go together so perfectly because the cardstock and the designer series paper and the ink and the linen thread and everything are all matching, so they all are coordinating. So then this piece is going to go onto our note card. And then the piece that is going to go on the top of this is that punch piece, and that is punched with a pretty label punch. And that will layer right here over the top. So we'll pop some more Stampin' Dimensionals on there. 1 or 2 will do just fine. And then you can decide what greeting you want. And the stamp set itself has a number of greetings. It has birthday, it has get well soon, it has sending you happiness and love, it has friends. Really, there's and then of course my favorite, people like you make the world a better place. I love that sentiment. So lots of choices on here. So you're going to stamp your greeting here. If you want to embellish it with die cut flower, there are a variety of die cut flowers included with your kit. And then that is going to go with an envelope. So here are the finished cards. We'll clear that stuff out. Here are the finished cards. So this one is use the friend and the little butterfly here from Needle and Thread. And then you'll see on this one, I actually added an extra embellishment from the Needlepoint Elements frames. And this little guy here is actually not a cutting die, it's an embossing or a stitching die, and it leaves those little cute stitch marks. So that's something, if you have the framelits, you could choose to add to those. Here is another card, the happiest birthday. I got that right centered and then used that trick with the old olive linen thread that's included in Stamps the Mail Club kit to add a bow there. And then here is an envelope to match it, because of course, why wouldn't you stamp your matching envelopes, right? And then here is the third card, which is a thank you, and features a couple flowers and that little thank you greeting there. So these are all going to fit into your note or space here. Into that insert, and then place the insert and the gorgeous cards that you've made into your box. And whoa, okay, don't peel the backing off when you put those in there, but you're going to get those all set inside and seal it up. And really, this makes an excellent gift to give somebody who wouldn't love getting this set of note cards to use. So if you'd like to get your Stamps and Mail Club kit, you can request one at my website. If you want to just order supplies, you can do that from my website too, lovenstamps.com/shop, and get information about that. Don't forget that during Celebration, you get free stamp sets from the Celebration mini catalog. For every $50 you order, you get a free item. So watch your total and the shopping cart, and you can earn some of those things for free. And then if you really want it all, then of course the Demonstrator Starter Kit is the best deal for you, and there's information about that on my website. Get $175 in product for just $99, and the shipping is free, and you get a discount on the things you order for yourself after that. Really, there is hardly, I think everyone should be a demonstrator. So you don't actually, you can do what you want as a demonstrator. If you want to stock up on your stamping supplies at a discount, that is certainly an option open to you. If you want to stamp with some friends here and there, take a couple orders to pay for your stamping supplies, then that is a great thing. You could make a little extra money, pay for piano lessons or vacation, or you could earn your vacation for free from Stampin' Up! With a business that you've built through Stampin' Up. So anyway, if you have questions about that, make sure you ask me. I'm very happy to help you. We have a very large demonstrator group spread all over the country, well over 100 demonstrators in almost all the 50 states. So let me know if you would like to get started or ask me questions that you might have about that. So thank you so much for watching, and happy stamping.